everybody. Just a couple more minutes here. We get everybody started. This is the Rocky Mountain Fastpitch League Town Hall. We're going to be starting off in about 2 minutes. If you've never been to a webinar before, please utilize the Q&A function on the bottom of your screen. Wait to ask your questions until we're actually covering that topic area. We're going to cover a lot of stuff today. It's going to be a 45-minute informational download. So look to hopefully ask your questions when we're on those areas. And with that, I will pass it off to Jamie to start us off.
All right, thanks, Tim, and welcome everybody. Definitely appreciate everybody's time of joining us and taking the time out to just learn more. This is all based on information. We've put together a lot of topics that we get frequently asked questions about, both from an alliance level and a league level. And we want this to be participation. We want your questions. We actually like to say that your questions make us better as well. So from an alliance side and a league side, welcome, and we will get started here. All right. So just to start with the agenda, and we do ask, I want to show you the topics. These are kind of the main headers here. If you do have questions in regard to this, please wait till we get to that category, because hopefully we answer. And if we don't, then please ask your questions then. But we're going to introduce who everybody is. I'm going to talk about what the Alliance is, as well as member leagues and what that means for the Rocky Mountain League. Tim's going to talk about the registration process, and included in that is insurance and coach background checks. Then Tony and myself are going to talk about the membership benefits and all the fun things to come from an alliance level. Then we're going to pass it over to Randy and his team to talk more specifics about the Rocky Mountain League. And then to close, I'll tie it in of how all this works together from a nationwide standpoint. So just to kick things off here, I'm Jamie Loprice. I'm the executive director of the Alliance Fastpitch. I'm excited to take this new venture with everybody here, not only on the call, but also the participants as well. That's how we view this, as a complete collaboration. And from an alliance side, I'm joined by Tim Gorman, who's our finance director, Tony Rico, who a lot of you guys know from the Firecrackers, but also one of our alliance leadership and brand extraordinaire. I think that's what I should have put the title as. And then Mike Stith is joining us as well. Mike is probably in the cage right now working, but as you see with player development, that's his expertise there. And then I will pass it over to Randy to introduce the Rocky Mountain League.
Thanks, Jamie. Yep, I'm Randy Gale. I'm the commissioner of the RMFL. My league administrator, or our league administrator, is Chris Savaji. He'll take care of all the league apps registrations for teams for the RMFL. Any items that come up with regards to registration will be Chris, and he's our contact. Pablo Severson, he's our deputy commissioner. We work together in a lot of the commissioner meetings and decisions that are being made, and meetings with folks from the other states within our region. Jason Livernoy, he's part of our marketing and finance, along with Chris. The both of them gentlemen take care of our marketing and our finance. Jeff Dunning is our Colorado State Regional Director. Jeff will be our stats and also standings and tournament directors for our regional events and our state event. And then we have Melissa Goodard, who is our juniors director. She is in charge of the 10s and 12s and some of the 14s, and we'll really have the focus on the younger age group for us within our league.
Thank you, Randy. And just to start things off with kind of an overall view of what is the Alliance Fastpitch? As you've hopefully seen by now with some of the different social media and announcements and different things, we do get asked quite a bit, and it's fun of, okay, what exactly is this? And the Alliance came in, I'm sure many of you saw some leagues that started over the summer. And what the Alliance has come in and done is help bridge all those leagues together to create this organized structure. And so it's our role to provide the oversight, the guidance, to really create this infrastructure and bring everybody together. You're going to hear the words unity a lot. You're going to hear athlete centric. And that's what really this is all about. And that's what I get excited about as well. It's different. It's changing the game. It's really our position as the Alliance as well as the leagues to promote this purposeful play. And we're going to talk a lot about that on the field of just how all this ties together and how we're going to help build our athletes both on and off the field. So I do want to address the question we get quite a bit. Is the Alliance Fastpitch a sanctioning body, or is it an event company? Is this just another West Coast organization or whatever that looks like? The answer is no. We're not a governing body. We're not a sanctioning body. We're not an event company. And actually, specifically, it says that in our business structure that we are not an event company. And you're going to see both at the league level as well as the national level of how we are working together with different associations as well as event companies too, and truly being a collaborative effort. So I apologize. This is actually the Alliance and the 4 pillars of what the Alliance is, that enhance competition, talking about purposeful play, meaning really getting back just to that development on the field and truly preparing our athletes to compete and get to that next level. And not just on the field, but also you see athlete and coach development off the field as well. I'm going to show some videos, some early preliminary videos that we've shot, and that's going to continue to grow. Our goal is to prepare these kids, not just teaching them how to hit, not just teaching them how to pitch, but to truly give them that experience. I myself was a college athlete, and I've got former teammates, a ton of former players that have called and want to give back to the sport. They want to pour back in to the generations of our athletes. Truly, talking about branding, talking about what's that identity like off the field. So all kinds of development, both on the athlete and coach side. Systematic identification of top athletes. That's going to do whether it's stats and hopefully identifying kids that you might not have ever heard of. I hope we get that athlete from a small team in Utah or Colorado or New Mexico, and they're the all-time home run leader, or they get a true fair opportunity to compete for a youth national team and to eventually make that national team. Having representation from across the country is important, and creating that systematic approach to it. And then collaboration. This goes into the unity. I've been very fortunate to be on all of these calls, and I've seen all kinds of brands that you see typically competing against each other that are working together. And it's been a collaboration from day one, whether it's teams within a state or a region working together to build a league, or now even the leagues working together, as well as now the associations and different event companies as well. So what is a member league? The Rocky Mountain Fastpitch League is considered a member league. They're a member of the Alliance Fastpitch. And if you look at the 6 logos on the bottom, those are all of our member leagues. You have the Texas Fastpitch League, the Southeastern, the Northeast, the Heart of America, and the California League as well. And we've been working together on stats, on the categories that we're going to use for team and individual stats. There's been a lot of collaboration amongst point systems, sharing of information. I like to say that Texas was the guinea pig because they were very fortunate that they got to play all summer and they got to go through this and work out some of the kinks for everybody. So we appreciate them. Interleague play is a big thing. I'm going to talk about that. What does that mean when you play against each other, and how are those points going to be used, as well as postseason berths. And we'll get into that as well from a league championship side, and how you're going to earn your way to the Alliance Fastpitch National Championship via your league play. And we've worked together. All the commissioners of the leagues have worked together to define what that looks like and how many berths. And then anytime that you're building a membership base and you're building a network, you're building volume. And hopefully we're providing a lot of value for all of our individual members and the ability to lower that cost for them, as well as to hopefully expose them to new sponsorship opportunities as well. So now we're going to get into more of the logistics and, okay, how do I become a part of this? And it starts at the registration process. And I'm going to have Tim explain that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the good thing is we've got a brand new system. In the past 2 weeks, we've had over 4,500 registrations. So the system is really working well. we have a couple of bugs that we're smoothing out, but for the most part, it really is a Cadillac system where we're learning how to all, onboard and make the best system out there. The key is really the coach needs to, either the coach or the financial admin, whoever has going to pay for the team, needs to register the team first, and then invite the coaches and invite the players' parents. Has to be the players' parents because contractually, legally, we can't invite kids to join an organization. We have to invite their parents. They make a parent account, and then they sign up their child. Okay, if we do that, the registration will be free, right? There is no league charge for the alliance level. There is the league charge for the RMFL level. When you go to join the alliance, which is actually included in your registration process, the coach fee is $50 per coach, and the athlete fee is $45 per athlete. And we'll talk about what that includes in terms of insurance and all the other benefits in just a couple of slides here. We'll talk about, yes, right, we moved it. So insurance. So along with your membership comes insurance from USA Insurance. It's individual insurance. So every coach, every player is covered. The question we get all the time is, what if I already have USA Insurance, or what if I already have insurance for somebody else? That's fine. In fact, when you are onboarding it, we'll take all insurances. The questions that I'll defer will be to your league administrator there, Mr. Chris Salvacci. I believe I pronounced that correctly. Pretty close. He'll be able to answer a lot of those questions. But the intent is that if you already have insurance through another provider, that's fine. There's a way for you to get a discount. All of the coaches will still go through a background check and a safe coach, which will be included in that. Back to you.
Sorry about that, Tim. I don't know what happened to my screen. So with that, the insurance is a big part of it. And that's an awesome opportunity just to streamline the process. The other part is, as you see, the USA Softball National Team Program. And as I mentioned, in that systematic identification, what's great about what's happening is the overall contribution towards our national team program, as well as professional softball. That's the vision of where we all want to grow and build for our athletes. And giving kids an opportunity. We're expanding to a 12 and under, a 15 and under, and an 18 and under youth program. And youth athletes and coaches being a part of that is going to be huge. And again, getting that nationwide representation. I'm going to come back to the digital learning. I put in italics the Major League Baseball partnership simply to highlight that was offered very early on, but that's only a small glimpse, hopefully, of a partnership with Major League Baseball. But they reached out to us, believed in what we were doing with our mission, and offered all the athletes a free subscription for MLB TV as well as the app. And then there'll be discounted opportunities through our partners or member exclusive events, as well as we're working on a youth athlete advisory council to empower the voice and the leadership of athletes off the field, and then awards at the end of the year. And I want to show you guys something I get really excited about is this access that your youth athletes are going to have to all levels of athletes, from current college to former professionals, Olympians. We've only scratched the surface there. This is growing. We did this about 3 weeks ago out in California. And again, this is just a small glimpse of the benefits that we want to provide your athletes and that they're going to have access to through our membership.
I was going to be a nurse, and then I was going to be a teacher, and now I'm a coach. So, I mean, I feel like kids at 14 don't really know what they like. Social media can kind of make or break you, and that was something we had always been taught. Find that somebody who you identify with and start to model your life like that. I don't think you have to put this pressure on you and that I can only post that it's my brand, but be smart and understand that people are going to see it, especially if you're being recruited. Obviously, brand is very important. I think social media is a reflection of how you want to be seen, of how you want to be judged, of how you want to perceive to your teammates and to your fans and to your coaches and who you represent. So use it in a way that you want to be seen and known as. Player development. We're not just about making these girls great softball players. I want to make sure they're great people.
Probably some words of advice you've given your athletes, but man, it's a lot more powerful sometimes when it comes from somebody who's been there. So that, again, just a small glimpse of what we're going to do on the athlete side, and very similar for the coach, the insurance, the background check, the same thing of regards to building a community and a network, whether that's through digital learning, a coach mentor program, and just having the opportunity to learn from each other. We have, I think, over 800 youth coaches that are now registered, and that's continuing to grow daily. And what a cool opportunity to just have the ability to reach out, right? Ask somebody, the people on this call, right? We've all been through different hardships, adversity, dealing with parents, building a culture, building a championship culture. What does that look like? And having access to these minds and these resources who've been there and done that at the youth level is huge. I'm going to show you a video that we shot from a panel, and it was really cool to sit there and listen to 4 coaches. All of them have 20 plus years experience of coaching at the youth level. And after this, we actually got in the cage and shared some game strategy. But again, just a quick glimpse of what this is going to look like.
Really truly something special. I'm excited to really be a part of it. It's going to benefit our game in so many ways. It's just, I'm really excited about it.
Tony, I'm going to let you elaborate even a little bit more, maybe on what this coach membership will include.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, and thanks for everyone for spending the time with us on the call tonight. So just having access, right? I think most of you that are coaching the game, this might be my opinion, it may be your experience, but most people in the game like to argue the game, right? We argue batting styles. We always ask the players, if you ask 20 different batting coaches on how to hit a ball correctly, how many different answers are you going to get? Ask your players that and see what answer they give you. And so we've mastered kind of like, ours is better than theirs. They're not as good as ours, but it's not really conversing. We would love to give you access to us and have access to you to learn from each other and look at it more like we're talking about recipes, right? There doesn't need to be one way to make spaghetti. So, that was a panel that we were discussing some things within the softball world, but we actually went into the cage as well. There's something called Diamond Demos on the MLB channel. And we went in there and we discussed some of the different plays, some bunts, some first and thirds. And we don't all have the same philosophies. We don't all have the same recipes, but we respect and appreciate each other. And we want to offer you some diverse options as far as how to play the game. So even if I was to have a conversation with you coaches, let's say even coaches in the Rocky Mountain region, right? And so you would have taught me this a long time ago if you didn't know this. Did you know that the ball travels 3 feet farther for every 1,000 feet of elevation? So every year that we take our team to Colorado, I love to ask our team, I give them that statement and I say, all right, did you know that the ball travels 3 feet farther for every 1,000 feet of elevation? I said, so where are we going? And they go, well, we're going to Colorado. I said, all right, so what's Denver known as? The Mile High City. And I'm like, all right, what's the elevation of Denver? And the first one, who's a straight A student, will go 110,000 feet. I'm like, whoa, no, it's not that high. So then we kick it back down to 1,000 or 5,000, right? The Mile High City. And then one of them might, after an hour, know it's 5,280. And so then we come back. So how many feet farther is that ball going to travel on a normal fly ball? Well, 5,000 feet, 15 feet. So then just like a pitcher, we walk off, right? 5 steps, okay, from the fence line. And how many of us, when we travel to Colorado for our favorite tournament of the year, how many times have we all experienced that fly ball out that we think is a fly ball out, and the outfielder just keeps drifting back and drifting back and drifting back, and we call it a Colorado home run, but it's an altitude home run. So just talking about the game, right, and not knowing that, because that might be the difference between whether you call a rise ball, screwball, an underspin pitch, or something down to produce a different type of trajectory. So that's just an example of how we kind of specialize it in the type of conversation that we could have, because we all have to adapt to things as we're playing ball. So just really, really great to be a part of. And again, thanks for spending your time with us tonight.
And that's the fun stuff. And I think we could sit here and probably just hang out and chat and talk game strategy. And that's what we wanted. If I could harp on anything, I get that the national championship is important. I was a competitor. I get that on the field stuff is super important, but this stuff is going to really impact our game. And I've seen so many coaches who are willing to share, willing to talk about game strategy. And it's really pretty cool, and it's very special in our sport, and I've never seen it done before. You know, it would be awesome to have I play at Texas A&M, so it's great to have Coach Evans come in and talk to youth coaches, and she can share a lot. But Coach Evans hasn't coached a 12-year-old athlete in years, right? So being able to share those stories and those hardships, I think is incredibly powerful. So if anything, I think it's one of the most beneficial tools of what we're trying to do here. But with that, I'm going to turn it back over to the competition side, because that too is very important. And Randy, I'm going to pass it on to you and to your team.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you. So we're going to cover the point system, our events and schedule, team and individual stats, a league championship play, and how you're going to earn your way to play in our the Alliance national event. So first off, our league point systems. By playing the RMFL backed events that we have identified as the RMFL, you'll receive points for your pool play games where you play other RMFL league teams. You will have it's unlimited, the amount of tournaments that you can enter that are backed by RMFL, but we'll take your top 15 finishes, your top 15 results of pool play, and we'll take your top 4 bracket finishes, and we'll use that to seed you for our end of year state championship event. Those points then, when we calculate those on a weekly basis, Jeff Dunning, he'll be our points calculator person. He's going to be in charge of the standings and taking all the stats and taking all the points. Those points will seed you in our RMFL state championship event, where you're going to be playing the same age bracket, and you're going to be playing for one of 12 spots from the RMFL state championship to earn the opportunity to play in the super regionals, which will be a top 32 event also held here in Colorado this following year. So it's really important that you do your best to have the best seeding possible for that state tournament that lines you up into a double elimination event. And again, the final 12 teams, the top 12 teams out of each age bracket will then earn the opportunity to play in the super regional event. If you want to play up, so we've received some questions about, can I play up and how will that affect me? From our points perspective, you're more than welcome to play up. You will not be given more points if, say, a 14U plays a 16U and wins a bracket tournament, wins all their pool plays. You're not going to get double the points. You're going to get the same points you would get for any event, even in your age bracket. So we're not going to double that benefit, but it's not going to penalize you either, right? So if you're good enough to compete at that higher age bracket and you're winning games, you're going to put it towards your top pool play games. Jamie, go ahead and go to the next slide. So as a team, we've identified events throughout next season and one this fall season that we're going to go ahead and back as an RMFL event where we're going to collect points based on the RMFL teams that are playing. That first event will be the Loretta Smith fall in November of next couple months. And then in spring, summer 2021, here's the list here. We'll work with IPGSA and the tune-up tournament, NFA Spring Invitational. And then you'll see the majority of the USA events that most everybody in the Rocky Mountain region participates, at least here in the state of Colorado. We're taking the events where the majority of teams play. So you're not being asked to choose different events than you already would be playing. You're going to be getting points for things that you would have already signed up for, or the tournaments that you already know that you want to play, because that's where all the competition is that you're used to playing. So we're going to go ahead and use this. This is our initial list of events. I'm not saying that we won't add a couple more depending on, we have weather issues sometimes, right? So if we have to identify another tournament because something gets snowed out or whatever that issue is, then we'll do so at that time. But for right now, this is the list of events that you'll want to look to get into to collect your RMFL points for that state championship. Question on how you know if you're playing another member team within the RMFL. We will list the RMFL teams on our website. That is at rmflfastpitch.com. We'll list that so that you're aware, as everybody's aware, a coach will go and look and see who's on the coming list, right? So you'll be able to look at those tournaments, see who's coming, and then looking on our website and just see who's in our league to verify. We've talked to some tournament directors. We've asked them, if possible or where possible, to line up a couple pool play games if that works out. Obviously, we're not asking them to change their event around whatsoever, because we're not getting into trying to help them manage an event. We want to just work with them. There may be we'll be working together with some of the tournament directors just to make sure that they're aware of who's in the league, what teams are in their event, and hey, is there a possibility that we can get, if you're going to have 3 or 4 pool games, can we get 2 league members to match up in one of the pools? And then we'll take it from there. And then obviously the way the bracket falls out, that's where we'll get those results, and you'll have the choice of choosing one of your top 4 finishes. Team and individual stats. So we are working with Athletes Go Live, AGL for short. They are a streaming and live stats and a recruiting platform company, and we're working with them with RMFL. And we're gonna I'm gonna actually kick this over to Jeff, because Jeff is going to be the person within the RMFL who is collecting the stats for the teams weekly, and I'll have Jeff just sort of explain the process of going through that.
So Randy, thanks. So a lot of this is still kind of being ironed out along the way, but we're gonna partner with Athletes Go Live for the stats and the live streaming. So hopefully we get to have a little bit more kind of integration if you're using Athletes Go Live to get that data. But if you're doing Game Changer or anything like that, you'll just export out those game stats from those RMFL games you play, and there'll be an email box to drop those into, and then we'll kind of get them uploaded to where they need to be. So that's the plan. More information coming, and that kind of stuff will again sit out on that website.
Jamie's coming back online here. We'll go to the next slide. Maybe. One question that we got that I wanted to address quickly, though, with regards to the state championship play. We are working with New Mexico and Utah as well within our region. We have meetings set up with individual folks that are going to be identified that are running those states for the RMFL and their league play. And we will be working on Utah and New Mexico having their own state championship to earn their bids. They're going to have 10 bids each from their state to get into the RMFL Super Regional. Within Colorado State Championships, that will be Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. And there'll be 12 bids to earn for the Super Regional there. So just so everybody is aware of how we're including all the states within our region. Let's go. So league postseason play. Excuse me. How do points affect the postseason play? Your teams, obviously, like I said, will be seeded for our state championship based on the events that you played throughout the year. That exact schedule for our state championship, as of when these slides were being made, we're still looking at some dates, but we've identified that first week of June as the state championship week. We'll get the dates finalized here shortly once we have those fields locked up. and we'll get that out to everybody so that you can make arrangements for that. But our Colorado State Championship will take place that first week in June, not necessarily on the weekend. It may be, Thursday, Friday, so that we can make sure that we have enough time to get through that state championship so we can crown those individual teams. What is the schedule? The exact dates? Okay, we just did that. The Super Regional, we're looking at doing the Super Regional June 23rd through the 25th. That will be the week. It's the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday prior to the fireworks event that Triple Crown has and the IDT. Our point in doing that is hopefully we can help some teams out by maybe they travel out a couple days earlier for that Super Regional event. Then you have the weekend off, and then you're already out here for the fireworks event, the IDT. It seemed to be the best way to try and make sure that the teams within our region weren't spending an enormous amount of money trying to come back to Colorado to play in that Super Regional event. So again, June 23rd through the 25th are the tentative dates for that. We will send out an email as soon as we solidify that, but that's what we're working on, is those dates right there. How our bursts will be distributed for the national event for the Alliance. So as a region, we were given 10 bids. We have 3 tier 1 bids, which are the top 64 teams across all regions. And then we have 7 tier 2 bids, which is the next 80. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a super regional of the top 32 teams, 12 coming from Colorado's state championship, 10 coming from New Mexico's, and 10 coming from Utah. That will be a bracket play, double elimination. We're going to run it very similar to the NCAA's super regional bracket that they would play. So there will be a true top 10 finishers. Everybody will be playing it out so that we can get a true 1 through 10 and make sure that we have the right representation going to the event, because the biggest thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we send great representation for our region to that event.
Thanks, Randy. And part of that, before I get into the championship play for the Alliance, I do want to touch on interleague play. And I know that'll happen as you're traveling, especially, and even thinking of Colorado, of how many teams come to Colorado, particularly in the summer. So we define interleague play in the Alliance as games played between teams in different member leagues. So if you're a member of the RMFL and you play against a team that's a member of the California League, that would count as interleague play. What does that mean? We're going to talk about that here. Alliance PowerPoints APP is a term that we're going to use how to calculate that. And so I will say that these are points that are not going to affect your league standings. This is going to be used once you get to the Alliance Championship Series. These points will be utilized to help with seeding. Similar to if you watch the Women's College World Series, and as they announce the top 64 teams, they also talk about seedings. And one of the best ways we can figure out seedings is how did you finish in your league? And then also, what does your matchups look like against other top teams from across the country? So if you're playing a team on the road, so if you're in the RMFL and you go to Texas and you beat a Texas team, you're going to get 3 points because you're on the road. If the home team wins, that's 2 points, and then 1 point for a loss, as we don't want you to lose any points from that. If you play on a neutral ground, so let's say you're in the Rocky Mountain League, you go to Oklahoma City and you play a team that's out of Florida. So that's played on neutral ground against another member league. It would be 2 points for a win and 1 point for a loss. So again, this will be utilized in the Alliance Fastpitch Championship Series in regards to seedings. So kind of a fun way just to see how you stack up against other teams across the country, and used for the selection committee to help seed the top 16 seeds. So how do I qualify? The Alliance Fastpitch Championship Series, we have not officially announced all this yet, as we're working through a lot of the logistics that you're going to see in this. But how do you qualify? It has to be earned. As Randy alluded to, through the RMFL championship play, that's how you will earn those 3 berths into the tier 1, or I apologize, Randy, I should know this number. Is it 7 into the tier 2?
Yeah, correct. Seven in tier 2 and 3 in tier 1.
Perfect. Sorry, dealing with 6 leagues here in 2 tiers. So that's how you're going to earn your way. There are no invites. There are no at-large berths. You truly have to compete and win. And you have to earn your way to get to this. So what does that series format look like? It'll be a total of 6 days. That 6th day is only used for championship play. So you're really looking, unless you're one of the top 2 teams at the end, you're really looking at a 5-day event. It starts off with regionals. That's where the seeding will come into play. For that tier 1, when you have 64 teams, you're going to have 16 regionals, or what technically are pools. If you make it out of your regional, then you go into a super regional. From there, an elite 8, and then the championship series will be a best 2 out of 3 format, which is really fun to teach kids how to learn to beat a team twice. So what is the schedule, the when, the where? I know that is incredibly important for everybody. So you can go ahead and put that on your radar. So this is exactly what we're working through. You'll see the time range. So between the dates of July 24th to August 2nd, you're looking at a 5 to 6 day window within there that each age division will happen. We're currently just sorting through, as you see there on the far right. We have some pretty important partners to us that we're sorting through just some of those logistics and making sure we nail down the best dates for all parties. So what I like about this, if you notice, take the 16s and 18s, tier 1 and tier 2 will be played in the same location. So that's important. If you think you're one of the top 100 teams, then you have a good idea where you're going, but you got to earn your way into those tiers. And that's really the difference of earning your right. And that gets back to that purposeful play. And with this too, the strategic partners, as I mentioned from the very beginning, in unity and collaboration, these are very important to us. Obviously, this will be fun for your younger age divisions because they're going to get to play a championship pretty close to home. But with this, we're ready to roll out the red carpet for these athletes. You're going to have some of the best teams in the country from all across the country, because every region is going to be represented in this. Venue was very important, giving those kids a championship experience, putting them on a stadium, letting that youth athlete really feel what it's like to play for a championship. Media, streaming, media, interviews, the whole thing, whether they're 10 and under, 18 and under, they're going to be treated the same way. And that's what's really cool about the championship experience there. With that, those are our main questions that we get all the time. I do want to hit on, if you have particular registration questions, Chris is your person. He will be your point of contact. I think they just went through training today, or more enhanced training. So he's going to be able to answer all those questions, walk you through the process, whether it's the team or individual level, insurance questions through USA. And then if you do have any questions for us, more than happy to answer those. Give you the email address here. That's the easiest to get a hold of us, but we do want to hear from you, and we do welcome those questions. I am going to stop my share and then open it up and make sure first from the Rocky Mountain side, do anything else that any of you guys would like to add, or any questions you'd like to address?
Well, one thing I noticed that we didn't have that email address. If you have issues that you need to take care of from the league perspective, please send an email to rmflfastpitch@gmail.com. That'll be, we all have access to that email, so we will get that answer to you as quickly as possible. Also, following this meeting, we have a RMFL Q&A sheet that will address the most commonly asked questions that we have gotten to date, and things that maybe you haven't thought of that we have answers to. So if you have questions, or you want that Q&A and I don't have you registered or I don't have your information, send an email to us and we will get you that version of the Q&A. We will also post that on our website so that you can just pull it down. You can go to rmflfastpitch.com and then I'll have over there in the website a little Q&A tab that you can click on, and then you can get that RMFL Q&A just to make it easy for you.
And Randy, I do want to add, this is recorded as well. And so hopefully the next 24 hours or around then, we will have this posted as well. And we'll share it through the Rocky Mountain League as well as the Alliance. Anybody else from a Rocky Mountain side would like to add?
I have one question. You said something about Game Changer. Could we still use Game Changer and slide it over to the new one? Or do we have to use the new stat system?
Game Changer, you can still use it right now and report those stats. We're running both systems right now until AGL is 100% up and going. There's going to be a mechanism to run both right now.
Oh, okay. I just heard them say just like send an email, like it does it. I was confused on that.
Yeah, we're working on a direct API through either Game Changer or AGL, but that's one of the things that we're working on.
I haven't looked at AGL's platform. Is it pretty similar to Game Changer? Is it pretty easy?
Yeah, it will be easy.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's user friendly.
I would rather use that.
Yeah, we don't have Katie on here, but just what they're doing too is an onboarding process for teams. The key with Athletes Go Live is the official scorekeeper for each team. And we do understand with stats, a question we get often is just the validity of those stats. And I would say the same thing at the college level. At the SIDs are actually your scoring system, the official scorekeeper. So it's very similar, but my advice to teams would be to designate a official scorekeeper for stats. All right. Well, how about
I was an SID. I know what you're talking about.
Sorry, I mean, how about from the Alliance side? Anybody want to add anything? All right, then I'm going to point it to you, Tony, and help us close it out on a positive note here.
Yeah, so just an opportunity, right? So I've mentioned on a few of these meetings, there's different levels to this. If you look at it as building a bridge, why do we build a bridge? It's to get from one place to another. And we wouldn't be doing any of this if there wasn't a need for more balance, more change. We could all just keep doing what we're doing. So building the bridge is a little risky. You're putting yourself out there. You may not make it, you may build it, but we're excited to be part of that. And then there's those of you that have stepped forward and you're the first ones to cross it. And again, why? This whole opportunity of shining the light on your region and bringing more substance within softball. Honestly, that traveling to that region is, again, something that we look forward to. And I've done it. This was the first year we didn't travel to Colorado for the first time in 26 years. And I was bummed. And so there's just such a great story to be told from the Rocky Mountain region. So we're excited about working with you. We want to empower you. We want to entertain you. We want to educate you. But most of all, we want to work with you. So we appreciate your time. Please realize that we're accessible. Reach out. Don't ask questions to nobody. Ask them to people that can help you out. And we're looking forward to the future.
Absolutely. And I think you nailed it. I'm really excited about the future of the Rocky Mountain League. This is exactly why the Alliance is important. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to the leadership team as well for the Rocky Mountain. We all understand you guys have put a lot of time and energy into building this and truly have a passion for the future there in the states you represent. So thank you, everybody. And we look forward to working together with all of you. So have a great night.
Thank you.